Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. We welcome you, each and everyone, to Globally Changing Lives Deep Dive. This is an official ONPASSIVE webinar, and today is Tuesday, June 27th, 2023, and we are here to discuss another session of what's happening in our ONPASSIVE family. So we're starting officially, and we'll listen to a signature tune by one of our own global ambassadors. And we're calling on Dr. Derek to help play the music for us by Sister Lerato Shadari. Thank you, Dr. Derek.
ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE, the future of Internet.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Derek. Thank you very, very much. I love the images from today's song. That communication is so good. We just learned so much from it, and we appreciate that as well. Okay, we're moving to the next segment of our webinar of the day. Gee, you should be fired up just hearing this, because this is part one of several that we're going to hear. I don't know how many she has, but Dr. T is going to help inspire us and talk about the mindset for today. And part one of what she's talking about is the mistakes that will keep you from getting wealthy. Enjoy your money from ONPASSIVE. And Dr. T, just a brief summary of who she is. She is an international transformational speaker. She's a life coach, an empowerment trainer, a former talk show host. She's an educator and author of 4 books. I'll just mention those books in case you want to pick up one of them to keep you busy when you're not here with us. One of them is This is a Comma in Your Life, Not a Period. I miss the hugs, but not the hurts. Taking control of your life from inside out, and the spirit in you. She's also a published poet of I Am a Black Woman. Dr. T has won a Woman of the Year award from the National Association of Professional Women for year 2010 through 2011. That's over a decade. And in 2022, she won the Game Changers Award presented by Leach Sports and Entertainment, as well as Comerica Bank. So without further ado, please let us call on Queen Sister Dr. T to talk to us about part one of the mindset that she has prepared for us today. Because our CEO has prepared our minds for the physical, and Dr. T is going to help us with our mental. So over to you, Queen Sister Dr. T. I love that smile today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
All of you wonderful, phenomenal brand ambassadors. How is everybody doing? I hope all is well. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And I'm excited. I wanted to let you all know that we did start our Step Up program. Our orientation went well. And I want to let you know also that if you do have youth who still want to enroll, registration will be open until July 7th, which is
Dr. T, you muted yourself. You're muted.
oh, wow. What part did you oh my goodness. I'm sorry. What part
July
did you all
7th.
miss? Did you
From
miss all
July
that?
7th.
Wow. Okay. What part did you miss?
After July 7th.
You were
Oh,
talking
okay.
about starting your Step Up program.
Okay, I said July 7th. The registration will be open for our Step Up program until July 7th, which is my birthday. There you go. Like this. So remember that now. Don't forget about me. Happy birthday, Dr. T. Oh, just kidding. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to let you know I'm excited about tonight's topic because we are getting closer and closer to actually seeing money in our wallets. So the wait, we can safely say with assurance that the wait is over. The wait is over. That's something to be shouting about. That's something to be excited about. The wait is over. In a few minutes, actually in a couple of days, or maybe before this month is out, or beginning of next month, we're going to actually be able to buy our products and see money's coming into our wallets. But when that happens, I want to share with you a message to make sure that we stay on point when it comes down to actually pursuing our wealth. So my message tonight is entitled, Mistakes That Would Keep You from Getting Wealthy and Enjoying Your Money from ONPASSIVE. We're going to talk about some of the mistakes that I want to encourage you to avoid when you get your money from ONPASSIVE, because it's going to be an exciting time. Some of you may have never had that kind of money, and I know how that feels when it's like a child getting a new toy. You just want to play with it. And sometimes you just take it and you kind of misuse it because you're so excited about it. You might break it and wear it out before it's time, and that's how it goes with money sometimes when you're not used to having a lot of it, especially when you have it coming in every single month, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I want to be able to share with you some of the mistakes that I want to encourage you to avoid, because if you don't avoid these things, you're going to find yourself in a worse financial situation. You're going to find yourself having health issues. You're going to be depressed. You're going to have emotional issues going on, and we don't want that. So I'm going to share with you now a few. This is just part one. There's going to be part one and part two, but I want to share with you part one, which will be 6 mistakes. I'm going to cover 6 mistakes this evening of different things that I want you to avoid when you start getting your monies from ONPASSIVE. Now, the first mistake that I want to mention is do not become emotionally an impulsive giver. Do not become an emotional and impulsive giver. Because a lot of times when you have a lot of excess money, you find yourself not using discretion in your giving. You find yourself that there'll be all kinds of charities coming in your mail, calling you on your phone, solicitations, asking you to give to this and give to that. That is a sure way of your money getting away from you. Because because you're so happy, oh, I got it. I'll give $50 here, $100 there, $200 there. And before you know it, your money's going to get away from you. That's not a good wealth building strategy. Again, we're talking about wealth. We're not talking about just being rich. We're talking about building wealth. We're talking about a mindset. And I'm not saying don't give to charities. I'm not saying that. Right now, most of you already have charities that you seed into. Okay? And I'm pretty sure you've done the research and you know that they are valid charities to give into. But I promise you, once you start getting more monies, you're going to start seeing more mail coming to your mailbox. You're going to be seeing people coming even on your emails. You're going to find people soliciting on the phone. And I'm telling you right now, avoid giving to charities like that, because you'll find your money is getting away from you. If that is not being a good steward. I'm not saying don't give to charities. I'm not saying don't give. I'm saying don't take this out of proportion and make this a crazy thing that you do just because you have the money. A lot of times we feel like we have the attitude, I got it. No, you don't have it, because you want to be good stewards of it. So do not give to charities just for the sake of giving. Don't give to everyone that has a hard luck story. You're going to have people coming out of the woodworks, people that you haven't even seen in years. They're going to find out, because when you get money, it's like you have this certain persona about yourself. People are going to see that you have money because you're going to carry yourself a little differently. You might be buying different things. Things are just going to be different. Your family members, friends that you haven't talked to in a while, that kind of thing. And there might be people that you see all the time. But when you start getting your money in from ONPASSIVE, they're going to see that. And you cannot allow yourself to be giving to everyone that has a hard luck story. And they're going to come with all kinds of excuses. I am pretty sure most of you on this webinar have already taken the time to share ONPASSIVE when it first came out and throughout the years. And if those people did not take advantage of it, that's on them. You cannot allow yourself to be given into frivolous things. I remember years ago, I had a friend. Well, she wasn't really a friend. She was an associate, someone that I knew. And she had a husband that smoked. I don't smoke. And none of my associates or friends smoke. She called me. She had the audacity to call me and ask me if she could get some money from me to buy her husband some cigarettes. Now, to you, that makes like, wow, okay? But my thing is, it happens. You'll find people having all kinds of reasons to tap into your money. So again, do not be an emotional and impulsive giver. Sometimes there might be a legitimate concern, but you need to think about it. Be able to discern, is this something I should give into? Find yourself using discernment. Ask God, is this something you should give into? Because every time somebody has a hardship, it doesn't mean that it's your responsibility to bail them out. That may sound a little cruel, but you cannot give to every hard luck story, because that's not being a person who's a good steward of their wealth. Okay? Number two, do not become an impulsive spender. Very important. Do not become an impulsive spender. When you start getting monies in your wallets, the first thing many of you are going to do, you probably already have your dream list. I know it because I got mine. You probably have that dream list of all the things you want to buy. You're probably going through the catalogs. You're probably online, Facebook, all the other store apps that you're looking at, and going to the stores. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with splurging a little bit, but sometimes it can become an addiction. And a lot of times you may spend based on your emotions. Some people are addicts. They eat when they're emotionally driven. And some people shop. I have my mother many years ago. She's deceased now, bless her soul. But when she was nervous or when she was emotionally distraught, she would go out there and spend her money. My big brother had to get her out of debt at least twice. Now I'm not talking about a few $1,000s. I'm talking about a lot of money. So when you get your money from ONPASSIVE, do not become an impulsive or emotional spender. Watch your spending. Be good stewards of your money. Remember, your money is a living entity, and you must learn to spend your money intentionally. Give your money a purpose. Again, I am not saying do not go out there and enjoy your money. You want to enjoy your money, but your money will get away from you if you spend impulsively and you spend with emotional intent. Number three, and there's 6 of them. So there's number 3, which is very, very important. This third one is very important. Number 3 mistake is not having an emergency fund. You're probably saying, Dr. T, if I get all this money, what do I need an emergency fund? You don't want to commingle your monies. It's just like having a petty cash account. Money that you're going to put aside strictly for mishaps, or money that you want to just spend frivolously, or money for emergencies. That money should not be with your savings or with your checking or with your other accounts that you're going to set up with your accountant or things like that. You want to have a separate account strictly for your emergencies or things that come up unexpectedly. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It might be you have to get on the plane and go to an unexpected wedding or something. You know, you might have to get on the plane and take care of a business trip or something. And you might want to keep that money just separate, because that's money that you would use when you have something unexpected to come up. So emergency doesn't have to be necessarily something negative, but it'd be something that you don't normally spend on. So make sure that you have an emergency fund. When you start getting your money from ONPASSIVE, put aside, it could be on a debit card, it could be a separate savings account, whatever it may be, but you want to always make sure that you have your money put aside for an emergency fund. Number 4, living above your means. Oftentimes we have a lot of money coming in. One of the things that I was listening to Michael Williams, he said, now when you get your first check, don't go out there and start buying 5,000 square foot homes. Okay, don't do that. All right, because your money has to build up. You got to build your money up. You don't want to just sit there and start buying things just because you know you're going to have a residual income. Take your time as you're building your wealth, and don't live above your means. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to overspend. Again, the key is to be a good steward over your money. The key is to be able to acknowledge that God has given you a blessing, and you don't want to abuse that. So when you live above your means, you're going to find yourself going through your money quicker than you want to. Building wealth is a process. Building wealth is a mindset. And when you find yourself living above your means, you're not going to reach your goal or whatever that is. Number 5, we're almost finished. Number 5, showering adults with holiday gifts. I'm going to say that one again. Showering adults with holiday gifts. Some of you maybe really heavy into holidays. For me, I get depressed around that time, not because it's Christmas or Malone or things like that, whatever it may be. It's like it's a lot of pressure to buy gifts. And sometimes when you have a lot of money, to spend, you may find yourself spending money, big ticket item gifts on people that you like. Don't do that. Don't change things just because you have a lot of money. Continue to do what you've been doing. You know, give yourself a limit as to how much money you want to spend on your friends. They know you love them, but don't go out there and start buying 50-inch TVs, smart cars, putting a down payment on a house, buying washing machines and dryers, because it's Christmas. And that may be frivolous to you, but that's important because you'll have the money, but you'll find yourself doing those things and people are going to expect you to continue to do it. Don't start something that you don't intend to finish. Keep it simple. If you want to enjoy your friends, if you want to celebrate your friends, have them over for a potluck. Invite them over for dinner and celebrate them that way. And let them know how much you love them by giving them a token gift and showering with that kind of love. A love that's simple and a love that's genuine. So again, do not shower adults with holiday gifts. Not a lot of lavish spending during the holidays. That's the quickest way for your money to get away with you. And the last one that I want to share with you, number 6, bailing out your adult children. Okay, when you get your money from ONPASSIVE, please, I know you love your children. I understand that. But I'm pretty sure, again, most of you went to your children and gave them an opportunity to get into ONPASSIVE. Some of the kids say, I don't want to be bothered with that. It's a scam. It's not going to happen. And a lot of times your children make poor money choices. And when your kids make poor money choices, where they're going to come? They're going to come to you. And I'm not saying that you can never bail them out, but a lot of times their choices are because they have more poor money habits. And those poor money habits dip into your pocket. You become a bank. You do not want to get into that habit. You do not want to make the mistake of being accessible to your grown children. Okay, again, you have to weigh it out. Use discernment. There are times when it's time to get involved with their plight, and there are times we have to back off and say you're on your own on this one. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It means that you're trying to teach them to grow up and be responsible. So the last one I want to share with you tonight is do not make the mistake of bailing out your adult children. Okay, those are the 6 ones I want to share with you today, and part 2 will be next week. We're going to share 6 more. But let me do a recap of what I shared with you tonight. The mistakes that will keep you from getting wealthy when you get your money from ONPASSIVE. Number 1, do not be an impulsive and emotional giver. Number 2, do not be an impulsive and emotional spender. Number 3, not having an emergency fund. Number 4, living above your means. And number 5, showering adults with expensive holiday gifts. And the last one, bailing out adult children. These are some of the common mistakes that we make when we have a lot of money. Money is made for you to enjoy. But again, you have to be able to spend and enjoy it with intention. Money is to help us to fulfill the purpose that God has put in us. Remember, we talked about what is your why. Your money is meant to help you discover and live out your why. And if it's going through your hands like water, you'll never be able to experience that. Don't take it for granted because you're going to be getting income every month that everything is going to be okay. With a lot of money comes a lot of responsibilities, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not utilize money, again, I cannot stress it enough. Money is a living entity, and it was intended to help you live out the purpose that God has in store for you. Thank you so very much for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Dr. T. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Every week you come up with something, and today is one of those unique topics that you just covered. Those 6 unique items. I'm not going to summarize them because you did it so nicely and you summarized it in the end. But I will say this, out of all of them, if I were to prioritize the one of not showering the kids with gifts and not getting let them grow up. Let them make their mistakes and grow up on their own. Don't keep bailing them out. That is my number one. If I had to prioritize them. And then the next one, which I really like from what you said, is getting the gifts out to adults. You're knocking your head off. What am I going to give this person for this holiday? What am I going to do that? I had that. I have to remember that I take note of this when the holiday season is coming, or any holiday, because I know so many people, okay, this holiday is here. What am I going to give this person? What am I? And they're not expecting anything. So, wow, this is amazing. The impulsiveness of giving and spending. Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to hear what the next one will say, but you have so many hands up, and I will, I'll let us go with the hands that are up, and then just stay around, Dr. T. Dr. Patience, please.
Lord have mercy. Oh, mercy. Apart from one of them, impulsive shopper, I don't know whether millions will even make me to become that. The rest of it, Dr. Tunishai, you just throw me in a wild west with that information. Right now, I don't know what to do now, because all of them I was doing wrong. No emergency fund, bailing out adultship, except impulsive shopping. Buying gift. Oh, I was planning to do luxurious gift, yacht of house, everything they say we shouldn't do. That was my plan. Except impulsive shopping. That shopping has never been my thing, so I don't think that would have caught me. But hey, now I have to rethink. I have to go back to the drawing board. I'm like, okay, how can I be a good steward? Because now I'm like, don't be an emotional giver. All of that, I'm a sucker for that. Just come and just call me and say you are in pain. Trust me, all my money is going to you. So Dr. Tina, I have to reset this brain. Thank you for that. A nice, wonderful, magnificent presentation to help us out of the guilt of so many things that happen in our lives. I'm telling you, except impulsive shopping, I don't know whether with millions I will do that, because I don't shop, but the rest of the things, they were like all the things I was planning to do. I told all my grandchildren this weekend, Grandma is going to take all of you, even the 2-year-old, to the store to get brand new cars very soon. So now I have to go and tell them what I said. I'm not joking. This is not a joke. I said, oh, people come to Grandma. I said, all of you will be thinking, because very soon and very soon, all of you are going to the car store. Tier leather. Everybody, what you want, will just be buying. So, well, I'll have to find a way to tell them that that's not the way life works. Thank you again for a great presentation, for making us taking a step back and think before these open heavens come to us, to be honest. That's why I say I love this platform. I really love it. If it's not for anything, your holistic mind, because money is not the wealth, you said it. But if we are not good steward too, we're going to be useless. Wow. Let me stop. But I'm just saying that apart from impulsive shopping, the rest I was just going to do it wrong. So I have to take a step back, regroup, rethink. And all those my adult kids, please don't call me, because they call me and they give all type of excuse how they misplan their rents. They also call that their rent is due, and they miscalculate, but they were just coming from a vacation. And I don't go on vacation, you know. I don't really go on vacation. I said, but you just came from vacation. But mom, it was a cheap ticket that I just saw. It was a deal. The deal was so excellent. Even you will not miss that deal. But I need rent I need money for food. But now I'll tell them, suck it out. I'll say, go and ask Dr. Tunishai. He told me to tell people, grow up. Thank you. I'll shut up so somebody else can share. I said, Dr. Derek is ready. Wow. Wow, we do it all wrong.
Dr. Patient, I'm not saying don't be a giver. Remember, I'm not saying that. Okay,
no,
but
I know.
Right, okay.
I was going to say that's not what you mean, because if not, we'll not outlive humanity. But you cannot give to somebody and they're going and getting drunk. I understand what you're saying. Because we do that, you know. We give, they go and misuse it, come back and ask to give, because we're emotional giver. Yes. I get you, but I fall prey of that, so I have to think about that. I have to say, look, I helped you before, you didn't do anything. You take a back step, let me help somebody else. I understand what you're saying. We really need to figure it out. It's not that we shouldn't give back. Don't just be emotionally, because if you do it emotionally, you do it wrong. Thank you, Dr. T.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. P, Dr. T. Dr. Benny, are you ready to? Oh, no, let Dr. Derek finish first. Dr. Derek.
Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love. Now listen, I have my emergency fund right here, $1,000. Don't play with me, you know. don't ramp, you know. I have my $1,000 right here as emergency fund, right beside me here. So any emergency that to play, right, boom, ready and waiting. But anyway, I listen, I not giving nobody nothing. Sorry, Dr. T, but I ain't giving no money to nobody. Unless they have a founder, ecosystem. That is the giving. So if somebody come to me and say, give me $20, I say, all right. The only way I can give you $20 is if you have a O wallet. What is a O wallet? Okay, a O wallet is what I can use to transfer money from my wallet to your wallet without I incur any fees. So this is how you set up the O wallet, right? Boom, 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 boom. It's free. O wallet is free, and you have to register and get a free O mail, and then I can send you all the money that you want. Although it's not coming from me, not coming from me, but I can send you all the money you want. All right. Limitless, especially for people in the Caribbean, because Western Union is a problem. It's like you're paying almost half of the money you're sending with Western Union or one name, whatever the other one is, right? It's like you're almost sending half of that money. And so therefore, my giving will only be a passive account, ecosystem, so that you can get all the money you want to do all what you want, anything you want to do with it. That is your business. But I will give you founders, ecosystem. That's the route I will for everybody and anybody. That's the route I'm taking. I suggest you take that route also. Thank you. I couldn't hold that piece.
Thank you, Dr. D. I think we've said that that's the best way for us to observe humanity, bringing them in the ecosystem. Thanks for bringing that up, reminding us that's the only way.
Thank you, Dr. Patience. Thank you, Dr. Derek. Thank you once more, Dr. T. Dr. Benny. Boy, we have all the four angles of the house with our doctors, huh? All the four angles of this house represented today. Dr. Benny, yes, over to you, sis.
Oh, man. But this is amazing. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity. Before I go to Dr. Tunishai, you guys know what I do first. I just want to take this moment to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing all of us together, because He loves you and I, right? I keep saying that the air that you and I breathe at this moment is because God wanted us to be together. And I want to thank Him for sending our CEO to all of us, our visionary. Dr. T, some of these questions, by the way, I would say spectacular or remarkable presentation. This thing about do not give too much money to the charity organization. I was thinking that Oh, well, first of all, I hope I'm correct by saying do not give too much money to the charity organization, correct? Is that what he said?
I was saying that people who solicit through mail, you may get people who give solicit through mail and phone calls. Do you ever get phone calls, different charities, different organizations asking money for this, asking money for that? I'm saying try to avoid those. You should already have charities that you seed into and you're familiar with them. But oftentimes there are people who solicit on the phone. You get it through the mail, email, asking you for donations for this and that. Diseases you never even heard of. Give to this charity. I have this disease, that kind of thing. You never even heard of the disease. You can't even spell it. You can't even pronounce it. They want you to give money to it. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yes.
okay. That's
yes.
good. Now, number 6, you said something about bearing. Is it bearing out your children?
Bailing out the adult children who make poor money choices. Yes. Bailing out children, your adult children who are not in ONPASSIVE, who had an opportunity to be in ONPASSIVE, but they didn't take advantage of it. And now they're making poor money choices and they want you to be their bank.
Oh, you are 100% correct. I will not. I will not. Because
Dr. Benny Bank and Trust. That's what they want.
Thank you. It will not work that way. I appreciate you. There is no need, the Bible says when you spell the rot, you spoil the child. And I don't spare no rot. I spare no rot, doctor. Thank you. Thank you so very much. This your presentation, it makes Dr. Derek, for the first time, he raised his hands up. You did something that makes him to raise his hands up. So I really appreciate that. Now, this thing about emergency fund. Oh, I love it. And you said that it should be different from your checking account and your savings, right?
Yes, you may have a debit card. Some people have a debit card, or you may even have an account, another savings account or checking account separate from the money that you use on a regular basis. This money is strictly for like petty cash. Think like emergencies, things that come up unexpectedly. It doesn't be something bad that happens. It'll be just something that's going to happen out of the ordinary that you don't have to dip into your regular funds. That's what I'm talking about. Money's like that. And sometimes people call it like a petty cash account.
Okay. Thank you so much. We need you to keep on helping us, teaching us this. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
All right. Dr. Benny, you can continue. We have Queen Violet.
No problem. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie. Brand Ambassador Queen Violet, please unmute yourself and share us your excitement about this topic.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am going to give you my 2 cents worth on the topic. In the reserve, I was told to have at least 3 months worth of money put away so that if you lose your job or whatever, you've got at least 3 months to keep your head above water. I'm guessing nowadays you probably need 6 months. Okay, so there's that one. Another thing is right now there's a lot of issues with banking and they won't let you take money out because they don't have it. And so the most they'll let you take out is, some banks it's 500, some banks it's 1,000, maybe. And if you need more than that, you're up the creek without a paddle. And so I would suggest you have bank accounts in different banks all over the city or town or whatever. And one of those can be your reserve bank, reserve funds. Another one, I know parents have issues with adult children who want to move home and live for free. No, hold on. They have issues making them pay when they want to move home and live for free. So what I discovered, well, actually my son, he's amazing with money, but what I tell people is make them pay, because that teaches them how to handle money, how to be aware of what's happening. And if you have an issue with taking that money, just open up a bank account for them that you put that money into that account. And when they move out, you'll give them a couple of $1,000 that, you know, there's your rent money, use it wisely. That's just an idea. What else? Other than that, I came in late, so I didn't get, well, I heard the redo, but yes, very, very educational. Something we need to start putting our head in and thinking a little bit past the next week. We've got to start thinking the next year. This year, the end of this year is going to be like major hard. People are going to be, they won't be able to afford their houses. They'll get kicked out. And the rent's going to go sky high, or the taxes, or the insurance, or something. And so they have to, I've already got friends that rented a house and had to move because the landlord wanted to refinance, and the interest rate that they wanted to refinance, there's no way they could have afforded the rent. So they had to find somewhere else. And it's going to get harder and harder and harder to do that. Anyway, thank you. Oh, Dr. Derek, I wouldn't mind borrowing some money for a car. Mine is has died. My car has died. It's my power steering fluid. I don't know how, but it won't stay in the car, and I can't afford to fix it. And it's going to cost me $75 to tow it to the garage to fix it. And it's like, what? And I really don't know how they're going to do this, because it's underground and you can't turn the steering wheel. It's amazing. Anyways, have a nice evening. I will try and listen in on, see if I get more ideas.
Thank you so much for sharing, Violet. You gave a perfect example of what I was talking about, the emergency fund. You know, saving up. I hate to talk about saving up for a rainy day, but that's exactly right. You know, having monies put aside, because you don't know, life can happen. Although, you know, Mr. Ash promises us the physical and there'll be monies coming into our wallet, but you don't want to, you know, just have money's coming from your wallet just going for everything. So that's why when, you know, putting money aside for that, for your emergency fund, that would be, it gives you options. It gives you a peace of mind. Okay, you know, while you're building your wealth, because it's going to be a process, because everybody's wealth building process is going to be different. Although we may all be founders, you know, my process of building wealth is not like Dr. Derek's. I don't know how many people he has in his, you know, with his group. I don't know if he's going to be a reseller. I don't know those things. So I can't say, well, we're on the same level. We're not on the same level. Everybody's going to have different income coming in. We're all going to have good money coming in, but it won't be the same. So what you have to do, in other words, because you already expressed that you have some debts. So when you get your money is going to be towards trying to get another car. But see, I don't have to worry about getting another car because I have a car right now that's running fine. Do you see my point? So everybody has different issues that they have to address when they start getting money in their wallets. So that was a perfect example of what you shared about emergency funds. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Another thing that I learned about was carry a little book with you, and every time, and I mean every time you buy something, you note it. And every couple of weeks or a month or whatever, you check your little book and see how much quote unquote garbage you bought.
There you go.
That you didn't need to buy,
Yes.
or whatever. Same with drinking coffee, going out to drink coffee. For Pete's sakes, make a coffee at home and take it with you. I don't know, just me.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Thank you so much, Queen Violet. We really appreciate your points. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Brand ambassador. And start smiling before you proceed.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Benny Smiley, Queen of Ambassador. Thank you, Queen Debbie, also with the host with the most. Thank you, Dr. Derek, for allowing me to speak on this platform, and thank you to all the amazing brand ambassadors. We are excited, aren't we? Oh my God. Dr. T, you did it again. You did it again. Yes, thanks for bringing to our awareness, because it's not like we haven't heard them before. It's just the fact that we probably never put them into practice as we should. So I thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. I remember my dad always used to say, live above your means. And that used to help, that helped me a whole lot. You hear me? Because anything I did, it makes sure, because when you live above your means, you might have to go into your emergency fund. And then it will not be an emergency fund. And when something happens, then you won't have anything to fall on. And like Queen Violet said, it's so true. I remember in college, the professor said, you got to have 3 months, at least $25,000 put aside in case you lose your job, in case an emergency came up. Emergencies are not something that we know about. Emergencies are things that we can't foresee. They just happen. So with ONPASSIVE, we get these apples. Make sure each and every one of us put an emergency fund aside. Set up an account outside your regular accounts. And also shoving your adults' kids or bailing them out. I have 2 of my children that joined ONPASSIVE. But let me I told them the other day, because I'm always calling, get on the webinar, sending this and doing that. I said, let me tell you, when I get my money, do not look for me to help you, because you have the same opportunity that I have. So they already wrote themselves off unless they make a change. And also, Dr. T is so right about money being an entity, and, something God has would entrust us. And we talked about that last week, because if he gives you $1,000 or $20 million to manage, and you don't know how to manage it, then he's going to take it away. And not him per se coming in and saying, hey, give me that. No, but you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it because you're not managing, you're overspending. You're being an impulsive spender or shopper, or you just think you got it like that. You can do this now. Don't have that. That's the wrong mindset. Because God said in his word that money has wings and it will fly away. You hear me? And we know that already, because we've been experienced these things already, that if we don't spend our money right, it just is gone. And when you look around, you don't have anything. You got to wait till the next paycheck. A lot of us is just living paycheck to paycheck already. You know what I mean? So when you really get money, not because you got it now, that don't mean you got to spend it because like you got it. No, you got to carry yourself. You got to have the right mindset. You got to be good stewards, like Dr. T said, of money. Okay. And money is to be respected. You got to respect money. You know, not because it's paper and it can't speak back to you and it don't get an attitude, you still has to respect it. So thank you, Dr. T, for those amazing mistakes that all of us one time in our life has already made, but we hope to make the change now that you have brought it to our awareness. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, man.
All right. Thank you so much. I know you just smile like me too, right? Thank you so much, Queen Jackie. We appreciate your thoughts. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Yes, please. You know, we're learning too from you, right? Yeah, I know you love Dr. T. We all love her. Yes, please, sharing all your knowledge. I mean, now that we will soon be receiving these dollars, it's really good that you guys are teaching us our mindset. We have to learn how to save money, not just saying that big money and then giving it and just or buying the most expensive cars. And then in the long run, you're done. People don't understand. Let us continue to learn. Thank you, Dr. T, for sharing, for teaching us. I believe that, I hope you guys are listening. Thank you. Let me proceed to Sister Sharon. Please unmute yourself and share us your excitement. Sister Sharon Whedon, are you available? Please unmute yourself.
Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, all you beautiful people. Dr. Benny, how are you, beautiful?
I am
Sister
ONPASSIVE.
Debbie, you're fantastic. You're always fantastic. Sister Jacqueline, oh my God, Dr. T, Dr. T, Dr. T. I'm like you, Dr. Patience. When I heard Dr. T speak, I was like, oh my God, I need to go back to the drawing board because a lot of those things I had to check. Okay, emergency funds. Emergency fund is something that everybody should have, and I myself have a little bit of emergency fund, but I wish I could have more. It's not enough for a lot of things, so I'm really, really happy when I get my apples that I can put away enough money in case I really, really need it. That something big that happens now, I'm not prepared. I am working paycheck to paycheck due to the pandemic. You know, everybody's business is hurting. As far as giving, oh my God, I'm a giver. I'm a big, big giver. I gift people just to say thank you. I gift the lady at the meat store, my hairdressers, people like that, and they're not even expecting gifts. So I got to be careful with that I don't up the gift. Like right now, it's just like $20 gifts or something. So I got to be really careful there on doing that. Buying stuff, going out and buying stuff, and that, it's funny because for myself, I don't buy myself a lot of stuff, but I am the kind of person that if I see something that I know someone's gonna like, I will just go and buy it. So again, I need to be careful there because knowing me, if I have something that's more expensive that I normally wouldn't buy, I probably just buy it because I have the money. So thank you, Dr. T, for letting me know about that. I will make sure that I keep my shopping spree in check. And as far as giving away, oh my God, like Dr. Patience, I already said to my niece and to my best friend, I'm like, oh, maybe one day I'll be able to buy you a house. And that, thinking that I'm going to buy them a house. But I now, Dr. T, I will rethink that. Also, charities. Oh my God, charities. I am a giver. I do give to a lot of charities. I have my favorite charities and I have a quota on my charities. I think everybody should make a quota. So I have like 3 on my list right now that I give to every year. And anybody else that comes through, I usually say no. But then sometimes they get you, especially those phone calls. You get the police calling you, the fire department calling you. You get somebody calling you saying to buy a brick for the wall and stuff like that. Or for our falling veterans, you know, put your name on the wall. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, you know what, I have to rethink it. And then they'll just keep calling and calling and calling. Meanwhile, I can't afford it, but I already said yes and no. So I just got to figure out how am I going to get it to them. So you got to be really, really careful there with charities because especially when it comes to kids and animals, it's so hard to say no. Oh my God. And then adult children, well, my niece, I did tell her all about ONPASSIVE, and I tried to get her to come on some webinars, and she decided no, she did not want to get involved. She didn't trust it. And so she said no. Asked me if, like, what, 2-3 weeks ago, she called me and she got scammed out of $2,000 for an Elon Musk on Instagram. She's kicking herself in the butt now because she's like, $97, Annie Sharon, that's all I had to pay for ONPASSIVE, and I didn't. I feel so stupid. Well, what can you do there? And my biggest problem too is family and saying no. Just say no is really, really hard for me. Believe it or not, for years I have been trying to say no. I even went to relapse therapy years ago to learn how to say no, because I'm a sucker for punishment, and I always bailing people out and helping people out. And when I should say no, I usually say yes. So I'm still practicing that one, and family is the worst. I know when those apples come falling, I know that my family that I haven't even spoke to in years are all of a sudden going to become knocking on my door, and I'm going to have to, like, close my door or move and not let anybody know where I live and go into hiding. And one thing that Dr. Derek said on a webinar a few months ago is he said that what he's going to do, and thank you, Dr. Derek, for this, because I think I will do this, is for those family members that, want like $50, $100 here and there. Dr. Derek said, buy them a reseller's position and be done with them. So I thought that was a good idea, and that's on my list for things to do. And I think I covered everything that I wanted to say. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak, Dr. Benny and Dr. T. Thank you so much for enlightening me and putting me in check. I need to make sure, like, go back to the drawing board and rethink everything. And I do have my dream book. I didn't do a dream chart, but I have a dream book that you suggested, a chart way back when. And I've been writing things down there. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great evening.
Okay. Let me just say this before we go to iPhone, whoever iPhone is. I want to continue to reiterate. I'm not saying don't be a giver. I'm not saying don't give to charities. I'm saying that money is a living entity. And they're governed by principles, rules, laws. And when you go outside of that realm and you abuse them, there are going to be repercussions, like anything. So God wants us to give. The Word of God tells us, he said, the Word of God tells you that the poor will always be with you. He's not talking about so much poor in terms of the amount of money that you have. He's talking about a mindset. If you look at all the people who are wealthy that you admire, people that you know are truly good people who are doing God's will, who are wealthy, look at their habits. They're not giving to all these charities. You can't come to them and say, "Oh, I'm Jackie Warner, and my child owes $2,000 because they made a poor money choice." They're gonna say, "Well," and they have the money, so it's never an issue about do they have the money. You are going to have the money. When you start getting money in your wallet, you're going to have the money. So having the money will never be the issue for you. God has said you cannot give to every little whim. Every time the wind blows, you can't go with it. You can't go with it. Because if you do, you're going to violate a law and you're going to find yourself in a worse position than you started. ONPASSIVE will not be able to bail you out. Because not only will you have less money to spend, you're going to be having health issues. You're going to find yourself depressed. You're going to find yourself having mental problems. It's a whole lot of things that come with it once you plummet it. So while you're climbing, all I'm saying is to make good money choices and stay away from the leeches. Most people on this webinar have shared ONPASSIVE with somebody who said no. They said no. So why should you come back to you and ask you for some more? That's all I'm saying. Be a giver. But like they said, you have Oh Bless. One of the things that they talked about Oh Bless, you got to show me a business plan. You can't just go and say, okay, Oh Bless, I have a heart luck story and I want raise money for this. No, write me out a business plan. Let me see where this money is going. It's not gonna be that easy just getting money from old blood. It doesn't work that way. It's a crowdfunding, but you've got to show them a business plan. You got to show them where that money is going strategically, and then they'll put the money out there. It's the same thing with God. You got to show God where that money is going strategically, and then he'll bless it. If he's not in it, unless the Lord builds the house, the laborers labor in vain. And that's how your money works. That's how your money works. That's what I wanted to say about that. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Yes, Dr. T, and thank you. Given moderation, learn how to say no, and think before you act, so to speak. Like, you know, given to charity, I will still give to charities and to my favorite charities, but any new charities that come my way, I will, you know, think twice about it, and I may, you know, up my quota. Instead of doing 3, I may do like 5 or something, you know. You know, there's a lot of like, I already know the people I want to give money to, and you just gotta be careful. And like I said, think before you act.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Queen Sharon. We appreciate you. And I really appreciate each and every one. When it comes to the iPhone, I need to know your name, please. What is your name? iPhone. Your name. I can't hear you. Okay, I'm unmuting you, please. Yes, please. Unmute yourself, please. What is your name?
Yes.
What is your name, ma'am?
Albertha Harris.
No problem, please. Proceed.
Good evening. Good evening. It is so nice to be on this platform this evening. I am enjoying everyone. To God be the glory. Great things he has done. Thank you all. I listen and I learn every evening. Most time I don't speak because I'm not a speaker. I even tried to go to Toastmaster to learn how to speak in the public, but I'm not a public speaker. But I might have a lot to say, but it's not so easy to say. Thanks to Dr. T, I learned a lot tonight. I really come on tonight because I really want to thank Dr. Derek, because he called me Sunday night. I thought that was so nice of him. I made a mistake and dial his number when I was trying to get on to the 12:45 webinar, but my phone sent off, and he took the time to call me back, and I thought that was so gentleman of him. That was so nice. So I want to tell him thank you. And what Dr. T talked about, I am that kind of person. I am the kind of saver. I have 3 different banks. One is for emergency, one is for my bills, my checking account, and one is for my saving. But I've never put in plan what I'm doing with the money, since I don't know how much I'm getting. But I don't have a problem squandering money, but I have a problem giving to who I think need, but I know how to control myself. But I learned a lot from this evening, what she say and what Sister Violet, or I think it's her name, I learned from a few people who speak, and I appreciate everyone. I'm at work and they are calling me, but I just want to say something. Thank you all. Bless up.
Thank you so much, Queen Alberta. We appreciate you. We thank you for coming, and we thank you for sharing your thought.
Okay, bye.
Yes, ma'am. Brand Ambassador Jenny, could you please unmute yourself and share us your excitement about this topic?
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Greetings to everyone. Thank you, Dr. T. So practical information. I'd like to add a kind of a spiritual perspective to this thing about giving. I'm looking at a book I have that defines spiritual laws, and it says the law of economy is that every move, every thought, everything we do gets the best advantage. It results in the most productive deed we can do while serving God. So I'm reminded of that quote in the Bible: if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So what I've been trying to practice, I've got a bit of an unusual situation. The two-story, the duplex home that I live in, recently new owners purchased, and upstairs is rented to men who are out on bail or trying to get, they've been homeless or whatever. And it's been really interesting to watch the progression of them going for handout to gaining their self-respect and learning to do things for themselves. So I'm thinking more in terms of giving as planting seeds, because uplifting isn't dragging people up out of the gutter. It's giving them a ladder to climb up themselves. So otherwise they're dependent on us forever. So just want to share that, planting seeds. I'm a major gardener, and one of the men from upstairs has been given a flower bed, and to watch him now come every day and care for that flower bed and see things grow, and his self-respect grows, and he wants to reach for more and reach for more. So it's kind of an allegory about using our giving to plant seeds, not to just donate, but to lift up so that they can stand on their own feet. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you for this opportunity to share. Many blessings.
Thank you so much, Queen Jenny. We thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for coming, and we hope to see you on Thursday with more thoughts. Thank you. All right, Brand Ambassador, our one and only Dr. Pat, could you please unmute yourself and share also your excitement? Dr. Pat.
I just wanted my co-host, that's all.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It has been given? No, not yet. Dr. Derek, oh, he's gonna give it to you. All right, Brand Ambassador Venet, could you please unmute yourself and share us your excitement about this topic?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And I must first express my gratitude, to all of you presenters who from week to week, you have come and you have helped us to prepare ourselves for this change that will come about in our lives in a relatively near future. And this evening's presentation by Ms. Ford is really amazing. And I can even relate to one or two of them, to the points that she has raised, particularly about the self-imposed guilt feeling at the holidays, or graduation time, when you feel impelled. You have so many nieces, quote unquote, nieces and nephews, and children of friends, and you feel pressured. Maybe it's self-imposed pressure on oneself, to make, gifts, to give gifts to these folks. And I really enjoy giving. The joy that comes from giving is what propels me. But sometimes at a particular time, one may feel so you're not in a position, financially to honor these commitments that you think you have. So I really relate to that one in particular. And the points that you have made are well received. Now, all of us founding members are from all walks of life. Some of us may be familiar with handling money, some of us are not. And I'm thinking that, or let me ask, what do you think? And this is addressed to any of the presenters. What do you think about when it comes time for us to, and I use the word earning loosely, when we will be earning from these sales of the products that ONPASSIVE is
Queen Venet, is everything okay? All right, I'm going to hand it over to Queen Debbie. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Dr. Benny. Sorry, Queen Venet, I'm sure we'll be able to catch up her internet connection. Dr. T, you have a very, very interesting topic that everybody did not want to let go, but we have to move on to the next agenda item. Oh my goodness. Dr. T, you nailed it again. Another week, you always come up with all these topics. So thank you again once more. We appreciate you. And we're going to move to the next segment of our webinar. We want to thank our viewers who are watching us on YouTube. We appreciate you joining us today, and please join us again on Thursday, same time, and all our other forums, including Deep Dive and Niger Forum. So we appreciate you. Thank you. Bye for now.